What's going on, everyone? So Victor and Henry set off to go and retrieve Jasper. And turns out it was completely pointless. You didn't need to go get Jasper at all. Now, all right. Of course, they needed Jasper because Jasper was the thing that sparked the memory for Victor. Even though it wasn't really directly, it was kind of Tabitha just kind of like, no, sit down, go over it with me, right? I get that, Jasper was necessary in order to get to the point that we got to. However, it still they really didn't need to go get Jasper, because it turns out that it wasn't Jasper that told the story that Victor needed to relay. Instead, it was the boy in white. And this entire time, Christopher was not talking to Jasper. He was talking to the boy in white. And Christopher was relayed a story, according to Victor, which I want to do a video diving into, can we trust Victor's memories? Because we constantly seem to get these, misremembered things. But I digress, right? We saw Victor relay that Christopher was told from the boy in white that he was the one that was meant to go through the tree, that he was supposed to go through the bottle tree to save the children, that the beginning is the end is at the beginning, and that the children were betrayed by the people that they loved, by the people that they had hope in, and, through that hope, it bled into the roots that created the symbol and ultimately became the faraway tree, right? Paraphrasing, but that's essentially how it went. That, right, they were born in darkness, they died in darkness, and that Christopher would have to go through the bottle tree, and he was destined, which means that Jade is probably the one that is going to need to go through the bottle tree in order to solve this puzzle. Did a whole video on that, so make sure you check that out. However, right, why isn't the boy in white just relayed that to Victor, right? The boy in white is incredibly helpful, except not directly and not enough, right? It's the boy in white shows up in random moments and will kind of guide somebody over here or guide somebody over there, but just is not really helpful, right? I made a theory video a while back. It was, I don't know, one of my first up there, top 10 or first 10, something like that, where I talked about, is the boy in white potentially God? Right? Could the boy in white potentially be God? The whole God works in mysterious ways, that maybe the boy in white is just kind of there, can't really intervene, or maybe doesn't really want to quite intervene. Even Sarah said that she doesn't believe the boy in white is actually a boy, right? So I've talked about maybe it's God, and that's kind of they're in a version of hell or purgatory or something like that, and the boy in white's just kind of popping up periodically to kind of guide somebody somewhere, kind of nudge them a certain way. Obviously, again, I've talked about how I believe that Tabitha was sent to the real world to go get Henry. Kind of even I'm more confident that that's actually the case, given how episode 8 went, and turns out that Jade appears to be the one that needs to go through the bottle tree, right? So, and the boy in white kind of seemed to have orchestrated that, based on the information we have. But, it's kind of hey, we could use your help. Maybe kind of relay that to Victor a little bit. Maybe let Victor know, what the deal is here a little bit. But nonetheless, right, Victor, you got to imagine this is going to continue to bleed into these next episodes, right? It feels like there's more to kind of peel back, more story to be told. Obviously, Victor came to the realization that he got his mother killed, that his mother died because of him. Because after after Christopher refused to go through the bottle tree, he told his mother, and then that's how that whole thing ensued. And then his mother ended up going through the bottle tree, or attempted to go to the bottle tree, and ended up dying, right? So it's kind of one of these things where it's okay, so is that going to cause Victor to just completely have a meltdown? Is he going to, kind of go into a shell a little bit here? Or does he kind of just brush that off and it's just well, yeah, so long ago. What am I gonna do? Type thing, right? Like, how does he respond to that? But it also feels like they're gonna be on a mission to find the boy in white, right? Which Victor is like best friends with the boy in white, which I also think is interesting because like I actually wanted to make a video and I didn't because I was like, let me be patient. Um, I wanted to make a video like two or three episodes ago, um, asking like, where's the boy in white been? Like, what, like we would periodically see the boy in white, right? He was like kind of sprinkled in throughout each season, and it's like, God, we haven't seen him since essentially the beginning, right? Like, so what's going on with the boy in white? Is he just like chilling somewhere? Like, what's the deal, right? We had the little flashback. Kind of felt like on several occasions that we were kind of building towards like a Victor boy in white conversation and haven't gotten it yet. And now I think it's even more likely that we're heading there. I think it's even more likely that like Victor and possibly Tabitha and Sarah are going to go track down the boy in white. Does the boy in white come to them? Like, do they kind of like call the boy in white? Like, is there like a connection thing, right? Like, I mean, clearly the monsters and everyone else can hear even like private conversations. So I'd imagine like, if you're Victor, can you just be like, boy in white, like, where are you? Like, is it like Beetlejuice where you say the boy in white's name 3 times and he like boy in white, boy in white, boy in white, and then he just like appears, right? Like, how does that work, right? Is there like a formula to get the boy in white to show himself, right? Is kind of the question. But I do think that we're like, I don't think that this is kind of like I think that this is going to continue to ramp up, and very likely I could see it bleeding into next season, right? Because you have so many kind of like, subplots going on, right? Like, you have what's going on with Tabitha and Victor and Boyd and Fatima and now Ellis and Elgin, right? Like, Julie and Randall. It's just like you're going down the list. It's like every character at this point has like their little quests that they're on right now. And obviously we're not going to be able to get answers to all of it in these next 2 episodes. So I kind of feel like there's certain story points that they're clearly setting up for next season, and this feels like one of them, right? This feels like one of those story points where they're really kind of building this up to kind of continue to unravel bits and pieces of information through these next 2 episodes, as well as into next season, right? Does the boy in white, like, how far will the boy in white kind of help? How much information will the boy in white give? Right? Like, will the boy in white kind of relay to Tabitha what she needs to do? And, kind of like, does the boy in white kind of become the oracle from the Matrix, right? Like, where it just has all the news, all the information you need. And it's like, oh man, we could have just been talking to the boy in white this whole time. Like, the boy in white is the one that could have solved all our answers, right? Like, man, if we would have just hit up the boy in white, we would have been good. Would have been straight, like all would have been taken care of, right? But no, we decided not to go that route, right? Like, can the boy in white, will the boy in white, like, obviously he can. I'm sure the boy in white knows most, if not everything, right? But how far will the boy in white actually go to help these people? Can he, like, I guess you could say can he, because like, would Frumville prevent it, right? Like, would Frumville kind of try to put a stop to any kind of information that's going too far, right? Like, or can the boy in white kind of bypass that or kind of veto that, right? Like, so what I'm saying is that, like, Tabitha clearly has mission, right? Like the nightmares and stuff. Does the boy in white know about that? Like, can the boy in white confirm certain elements of what Tabitha's experiencing, right? Like, does the boy in white have the answers that Tabitha needs about her nightmares and what she's supposed to do, right? What did you mean about, this is the only way, right? Maybe we do find out that Henry was the real purpose, that like, no, I sent you there to go get Henry because we need Henry for Victor to unlock Victor. Like, Victor has the key, right? Like, whatever, right? Like, I could see something along those lines. It kind of feels like something is building in that manner, right? That the boy in white is going to be the one that's going to tell the story and relay the, because that's what they were building up with Jasper. And now we know that Jasper isn't the one that told the story. We know it's the boy in white. So you've been building up and hyping up this story to now not like Victor's the one that told it, and like how much of that is accurate? Like you know what I mean? Like how much can we buy into with Victor and just the knowledge that he has? Like how much of it is just nonsense, right? Like that's been my question. I've made a whole video about that in the past. I want to make kind of an updated version, so definitely look forward to that. But there's just genuine questions that I'm curious to see how this plays out, and I just kind of feel like all roads are leading to the boy in white and Victor having an encounter. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think, like, yeah, boy in white and Victor are definitely headed for an encounter? Do you think no? They'll figure out another route, or maybe Victor remembers and he doesn't need the boy in white or anything like that. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.